Have you ever wondered if someone's presence in your life is more harmful than helpful? Are there hidden troublemakers around you, disguised as friends? Navigating through life's complex social landscape can sometimes feel like walking through a minefield, especially when it comes to the people we meet. But what if you could spot the troublemakers before they impact your life? Stoicism, an ancient philosophy full of wisdom, teaches us about the types of people who could be quietly throwing us off our game. In this video, we'll explore insights from Stoic philosophers like Seneca, Epictetus, and Marcus Aurelius, who warn us about 10 specific types of toxic people. Knowing how to spot these types can change how you handle your relationships, keeping your peace of mind safe and sound. Stick with us as we reveal these 10 toxic types and show you how to spot them. Are you ready to find out who they are? Keep watching to make sure you're not missing the signs right in front of you. Before we begin our journey into ancient wisdom, please take a moment for a small but meaningful task. In the comments below, type "God's light reveals shadows" as we prepare to explore the transformative powers of these sacred ingredients. Together, let's embrace the healing and enlightenment that awaits us. 1. The egoist. Have you ever talked to someone who only cares about themselves? It's exhausting, isn't it? These people, known as egoists, can make any conversation or situation revolve solely around their needs, desires, and achievements. Have you ever met someone who always talks about themselves, never listens, and tries to top every story? They're all about me, and this can really drain the people around them. Stoicism, a wise old philosophy, tells us to focus on being part of a community, not just on ourselves. Marcus Aurelius, a great Stoic, taught that we should live as part of humanity, helping each other rather than just looking out for ourselves. The egoist often misses this point. They focus so much on themselves that they forget about the bigger picture, which includes other people and the world around them. Stoics believe that everyone is connected and that what we do should help everyone, not just ourselves. When you're always centered on your own needs and desires, you might miss out on true friendships and meaningful connections. People might start to avoid you if they feel you're not interested in them, or if they think you only care about yourself. In relationships, whether with friends or family, this can cause a lot of problems. If one person is always taking and never giving, the relationship can become one-sided and unhappy. Imagine always having to listen to someone talk about themselves without ever asking about you. It gets tiring, right? Now, how can you deal with an egoist or make sure you're not being one? Here are some practical tips. Try to listen more than you speak. Ask questions about the other person's life, feelings, and opinions. When you're in a group, share the chance to speak and shine. It's not just about you, it's about everyone having a good time. Remember, no one knows everything. Be open to learning from others, and don't brag too much about your own achievements. As we become more aware of the shadows within ourselves and others, we can strive to live in God's light, revealing these shadows and overcoming them with humility and connection. Remember, life isn't just about shining the brightest, it's about illuminating the path for others as well. Embrace this mindset and watch how your relationships transform and deepen, living out the true essence of God's light reveals shadows. 2. The manipulator. Manipulators can be like magicians. They use words and emotions like magic tricks to control and deceive. Stoicism, a wise and ancient philosophy, teaches us to see through these illusions by valuing honesty and integrity above all. Stoic philosophy, particularly the teachings of Seneca, warns us about people who manipulate. Seneca believed that true communication should be direct and honest. He advised us to avoid those who use their charm for deceit, as their intentions are often self-serving. According to Stoicism, our moral health depends on being truthful and authentic, both in our actions and in choosing our companions. Stoics aim to live with virtue and integrity, focusing on what they can control, namely their responses to external situations and people. When it comes to manipulators, Stoicism teaches us to maintain our self-control and not to be swayed by others' deceptive words. The philosophy encourages us to reflect on our interactions and to be mindful of the intentions behind the words of others. This mindfulness helps us stay true to our values and avoid being manipulated. In relationships, manipulators often play on emotions to bend others to their will. For example, they might flatter you excessively when they want something, only to withdraw their warmth when they don't get their way. In friendships, they might spread secrets under the guise of concern, only to cause drama and position themselves as a trusted confidant. Stoicism teaches us to observe these patterns and step back, protecting our emotional well-being by not engaging in such toxic dynamics. Being aware of manipulative behaviors can empower us to set boundaries and make decisions that align with our moral compass. This isn't just about avoiding negative influences. It's about actively choosing healthier, more transparent relationships that foster mutual respect and trust. Remember, every time we choose integrity over convenience, we strengthen our character and get closer to the Stoic ideal of a virtuous life. Let the light of your awareness reveal the shadows in your relationships. By recognizing and avoiding manipulators, you protect your peace and pave the way for more genuine connections. As we navigate through the complexities of human interactions, let us be guided by the mantra, God's light reveals shadows. This reminds us to seek truth and transparency, illuminating the darker corners of manipulation with the bright light of Stoic wisdom. 3. The pessimist. Have you ever felt drained after talking to someone who always sees the worst in everything? That's the impact of a pessimist. Pessimists are the folks who can find a problem for every solution, and their gloomy outlook can really pull you down if you're not careful. In Stoicism, there's a powerful antidote to this negativity. Stoic wisdom teaches us that our happiness depends not on external events, but on how we choose to respond to them. The famous Stoic philosopher Epictetus once said, "People are not disturbed by things, but by the views they take of them." This means that if we change our perspective, we can remain calm and positive even in difficult situations. Stoics strive to see the opportunity in every challenge, rather than dwelling on the negatives. Now, think about your relationships. If you're spending a lot of time with a pessimist, you might find yourself feeling more doubtful and less enthusiastic about your own life. Their constant negative outlook can make it hard to maintain your own balance. For instance, if you share your exciting new project with a pessimist, they might focus only on the risks or what could go wrong, rather than the potential success. To handle this, start by recognizing when pessimistic views are affecting you. Try to gently challenge their negative statements with positive ones. For example, if they say, "We're never going to get through this," you might respond, "Let's keep trying and see what we can learn from this situation." By doing this, you're not just protecting your own mental space, but also subtly encouraging them to see things from a different angle. Practical tips for dealing with pessimists include limiting your exposure to their negativity especially when you're feeling vulnerable. Engage in uplifting activities and surround yourself with supportive and optimistic people. Remember, it's okay to set boundaries to protect your peace of mind. As you navigate these interactions, let the Stoic approach light your path. Remember, God's light reveals shadows. This means that even in the presence of negativity, a higher perspective focusing on growth, wisdom, and positivity can illuminate the path forward. By adopting a Stoic mindset, you're not just avoiding the drain of pessimism, you're actively choosing a life of joy and resilience. Let this light guide you away from the shadows of pessimism towards a brighter, more optimistic future. 4. The envious. Have you ever shared good news only to be met with a cold or bitter response? That's often the reaction of someone who is envious. Envy can poison relationships and create unnecessary tension. In Stoicism, dealing with envy involves turning inward and focusing on personal virtues rather than external comparisons. Stoic philosophy teaches that true fulfillment comes from within, not from external possessions or achievements. The Stoic philosopher Epictetus advised, "Keep your attention focused entirely on what is truly your own concern, and be clear that what belongs to others is their business and none of yours." By following this wisdom, you can rise above the negative impacts of envy, focusing on your own growth and contentment. Envious people often struggle with feelings of inadequacy when they compare their lives to others. This can lead to resentment and strained interactions. For example, if you receive a promotion and share the news with an envious friend, they might downplay your achievement or highlight their own setbacks instead of celebrating with you. Such reactions can dampen your spirits and affect your relationship. To manage envy constructively, first, recognize the signs of envy in others. Then, respond with empathy rather than judgment. Understand that their envy often stems from their insecurities and offer support where you can. Additionally, practice gratitude for your own successes and blessings, which can help shift your focus from external validation to internal peace. Practical tips for dealing with envious people include maintaining a positive outlook, sharing your achievements selectively, and fostering relationships with those who support and uplift you. Also, encourage open discussions about feelings and aspirations, which can help address underlying issues of insecurity and competition in your relationships. As you navigate through interactions with envious individuals, remember that God's light reveals shadows. This mantra reminds us that understanding and compassion can illuminate the dark corners of envy, revealing deeper truths about both our relationships and ourselves. By applying Stoic principles, you not only protect your own inner peace, but also potentially help others overcome their feelings of envy, thus fostering a more supportive and less judgmental environment. Let this understanding guide you, transforming envy's shadows into opportunities for growth and deeper connection. 5. The gossip. Have you ever been excited to catch up with friends, only to find out the conversation revolves around talking about others? Gossips can turn any gathering into a breeding ground for rumors and negativity. Stoicism, a philosophy grounded in virtue and personal integrity, provides clear guidance on steering clear of gossip. Stoic wisdom encourages us to focus on conversations that uplift and contribute positively to our understanding and well-being. Marcus Aurelius, a Stoic emperor, once stated, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." This implies that instead of participating in gossip, we should aim to be examples of good and honest communication. Gossips often share or exaggerate information to manipulate or draw attention to themselves, which can damage trust and relationships. For instance, if a colleague spreads rumors about another's work ethic, it can create an environment of suspicion and hostility, even if the rumors are unfounded. Such situations not only hurt the individuals involved, but can also disrupt the harmony of the entire group. To handle gossip, first, try to change the conversation to something more constructive or positive. If that doesn't work, it may be necessary to directly express discomfort with the topic or even remove yourself from the situation. Establishing and enforcing boundaries around what you're willing to discuss can also prevent gossips from involving you in harmful conversations. Practical tips for dealing with gossip include avoiding sharing personal information with known gossips, encouraging open communication, and promoting a culture of respect and honesty in your interactions. Additionally, focusing on personal growth and self-reflection can help you stay aligned with Stoic ideals, reducing the temptation to engage in or be affected by gossip. As you move away from gossip and towards more meaningful interactions, remember that God's light reveals shadows. This mantra reminds us that truth and integrity can illuminate the hidden motives behind gossip, helping us to see the real reasons people might engage in such behavior. By applying Stoic principles and maintaining a commitment to living truthfully, you not only protect your own peace of mind, but also foster a more authentic and supportive community around you. Let this light guide you away from the shadows of deceit and towards a path of clear, constructive communication. 6. The victim. Ever found yourself constantly consoling someone who always seems to be the target of life's unfairness? This is often the mark of the victim, someone who perennially sees themselves as the unfortunate party in all circumstances. Stoicism offers profound insights into handling this mindset, focusing on empowerment over entrapment. Stoic wisdom teaches us that we suffer not from the events in our lives, but from our judgment about them. This perspective from the Stoic philosopher Epictetus highlights the power of personal responsibility over one's emotional state. It encourages us to shift from blaming external factors to taking control of our reactions. People who adopt the victim mentality often narrate every life event as if they had no role or choice. This might be a friend who always blames others for their misfortunes without acknowledging their contributions to the situation. For example, if they fail to secure a promotion, they blame their colleagues or the system, never considering how they might improve their own performance. To effectively deal with the victim mentality, it's helpful to encourage self-reflection and personal responsibility. You can help them by gently pointing out opportunities for personal growth within their challenges, or by sharing ways they can take constructive action. However, it's also crucial to set boundaries to ensure their negativity doesn't drain your own emotional reservoir. Practical tips include being supportive but not enabling, focusing on solutions rather than problems, and demonstrating through your actions how one can take charge of their circumstances. Encourage a shift from a passive to an active role in life's challenges, showing how changes in perspective and action can lead to different outcomes. As you guide yourself and others away from the victim mentality, keep in mind that God's light reveals shadows. This saying reminds us that truth and awareness can expose the hidden parts of our character and motivations. Understanding the roots of the victim mentality can illuminate pathways to greater personal strength and responsibility. By embracing Stoic principles, you foster resilience and empowerment, both in yourself and in those around you. Let this light guide you and those you interact with out of the shadows of passivity and into the empowering sunlight of active life engagement. 7. The temperamental. Ever been around someone whose mood flips like a light switch? One moment they're sunny, and the next, a storm is brewing. This unpredictability is a hallmark of the temperamental person, making interactions a constant balancing act. Stoicism, with its focus on inner peace and emotional resilience, offers valuable guidance for navigating such volatile waters. Stoic philosophy teaches the importance of equanimity, which is the ability to remain calm and composed under any circumstances. Seneca, a prominent Stoic philosopher, wrote, "The greatest remedy for anger is delay." This suggests that stepping back, even briefly, can help manage not only our reactions, but also our interactions with those who are temperamental. People who are temperamental can challenge our peace of mind with their sudden mood swings. For example, a friend might be enthusiastic about planning a trip with you one day and completely indifferent or irritable about it the next. This can lead to confusion and strain in the relationship, as you're left to adapt to their shifting emotions. To effectively deal with temperamental people, it's helpful to maintain a level of detachment. This means not taking their mood swings personally or allowing them to overly affect your emotions. Practicing patience and giving them space to sort through their feelings can also be beneficial. Moreover, setting clear boundaries is crucial. Communicating calmly and clearly what is acceptable and what is not can prevent misunderstandings and establish a healthier dynamic. Practical tips for managing relationships with temperamental individuals include staying calm during their outbursts, using gentle but firm communication, and focusing on your own emotional response rather than trying to control theirs. It's also helpful to engage in self-care practices that bolster your resilience, such as meditation, exercise, or journaling. As you apply these strategies, remember that God's light reveals shadows. This means that understanding and insight can illuminate the underlying causes of someone's temperamental behavior, helping you to navigate the relationship with compassion and wisdom. By embracing Stoic practices, you encourage not just personal stability, but also contribute to a calmer, more understanding environment for everyone involved. Let this guiding light help you see beyond the surface turbulence to the deeper currents of human emotion, leading to more meaningful and supportive interactions. 8. The critic. Have you ever felt like nothing you do is good enough for someone? That's the critic for you, always finding fault and rarely offering praise. While constructive feedback is essential for growth, constant criticism can be disheartening and damaging. Stoicism offers a powerful approach to dealing with this, focusing on inner strength and personal integrity. Stoic wisdom teaches us to distinguish between what we can control and what we cannot. The thoughts and opinions of others, especially critics, fall into the latter category. Marcus Aurelius, a great Stoic emperor, wrote, "If you are pained by any external thing, it is not this thing that disturbs you, but your own judgment about it. And it is in your power to wipe out this judgment now." This Stoic guidance reminds us to maintain our composure and self-esteem, regardless of others' harsh words. Critics often lurk in both personal and professional settings. For instance, a family member who critiques every life choice you make, or a colleague who constantly highlights flaws in your work. These interactions can be exhausting and demotivating, affecting your self-esteem and productivity. To effectively deal with critics, start by assessing whether the criticism is constructive or merely hurtful. If it's constructive, try to learn from it without taking it personally. If it's hurtful, practice Stoic indifference. Acknowledge the criticism without letting it affect your peace of mind. Remember, Your worth is not determined by someone else's opinion. Practical tips for handling critics include setting boundaries in conversations, focusing on positive interactions, and seeking feedback from those who support your growth. Also, cultivate resilience by reminding yourself of your strengths and achievements, which can help you remain confident in the face of undue criticism. As you navigate your encounters with critics, keep in mind that God's light reveals shadows. This saying can inspire you to see beyond the surface level of harsh words and understand that criticism often reflects the critic's own insecurities and challenges. By viewing criticism through this lens, you can maintain your inner tranquility and even find compassion for the critic. Let this Stoic perspective guide you, turning the shadows cast by critics into opportunities for personal enlightenment and strength. 9. The dishonest. Ever found out someone wasn't telling the truth and it hurt? That's the impact of the dishonest. Dishonesty can shatter trust and create a foundation of uncertainty and suspicion. Stoicism, a philosophy grounded in virtue and integrity, provides essential guidance on navigating the choppy waters of deceit. Stoic wisdom stresses the importance of living a truthful life. Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher, once said, "If you wish to be a seeker of truth, it is necessary that at least once in your life you doubt, as far as possible, all things." This perspective encourages us not just to accept things at face value, but to seek the truth actively. When dealing with the dishonest, Stoics advocate for a life of personal integrity and transparency, focusing on our own truth rather than being consumed by the deceit of others. Imagine you're working on a project with a co-worker who constantly promises to deliver work, but always comes up short. Or a friend who frequently tells stories that don't add up. These situations can be frustrating and can lead to a breakdown in relationships, whether professional or personal. To handle dishonesty effectively, first, recognize the patterns. If someone repeatedly lies or bends the truth, it's important to address this behavior directly and calmly. Express how these actions affect you and the trust between you. Secondly, protect yourself by not relying solely on the word of those who have a history of dishonesty. Instead, seek confirmation and evidence where possible. Practical tips for dealing with dishonest individuals include maintaining a healthy skepticism, verifying information when doubts arise, and setting clear boundaries about what is acceptable in your relationships. It's also vital to surround yourself with people who value honesty as much as you do, as their support will strengthen your resolve and integrity. As you navigate through interactions with dishonest individuals, remember that God's light reveals shadows. This mantra reminds us that even in the presence of deceit, a higher truth always exists. By adhering to Stoic principles and seeking the truth, you illuminate the shadows cast by dishonesty, discovering not only the reality of situations, but also your capacity for understanding, resilience, and forgiveness. Let this wisdom guide you in maintaining your peace and integrity, transforming the challenges posed by dishonesty into opportunities for personal growth and clarity. 10. The Freeloader. Have you ever had a friend who only shows up when they need something? Meet the Freeloader, always taking, seldom giving. This type of person can drain your resources and energy, leaving you feeling used. Stoicism, a philosophy rooted in balance and fairness, provides a valuable perspective on how to handle such relationships. Stoic wisdom emphasizes the importance of mutual benefit in relationships. Seneca, a Stoic philosopher, once said, "A gift consists not in what is done or given, but in the intention of the giver or doer." This means that true relationships are built on genuine intentions and equal exchanges, not on one-sided benefits. Stoics teach us to cultivate relationships that are reciprocal, where both parties contribute and support each other. Consider the freeloader in your life. It could be a co-worker who always asks for help but never offers any assistance in return, or a friend who often borrows money or resources without reciprocating. These relationships can feel unbalanced and might lead to resentment. To deal with freeloaders effectively, Stoicism advises us to set clear boundaries. It's important to communicate your expectations and limits openly. For instance, you might decide to lend help or resources only when it doesn't compromise your own needs. Also, practice saying no when necessary. It's a powerful way to protect your resources and your well-being. Practical tips for managing relationships with freeloaders include keeping track of favors and being mindful of how often you say yes. Evaluate whether these relationships bring you joy or drain your spirit. It's healthy to reassess and adjust the dynamics of any relationship that feels disproportionately taxing. As you contemplate how to handle freeloaders, remember that God's light reveals shadows. This mantra encourages us to look deeper into our relationships and recognize the underlying dynamics at play. It teaches us that by bringing these issues into the light, we can make informed decisions about whom we allow into our lives. By applying Stoic principles, you not only safeguard your resources, but also cultivate a circle of friends who value and respect mutual support. Let this wisdom guide you, transforming the shadows of one-sided relationships into opportunities for personal growth and balanced connections. Recognizing and avoiding these 10 toxic types can significantly enhance your journey towards Stoic virtues. Stoicism isn't just about enduring hardship. It's about creating an environment where we can thrive, grow, and contribute positively to our communities. Remember, the company you keep is as important as the personal virtues you cultivate. Choose wisely, live virtuously, and until next time, continue embracing the Stoic path to inner strength and peace.